everybody, Saltsuit Ren here, and you might notice that this episode is going to be a little bit different. I had recorded another episode with Eagle and his mate Orchid after they had just formed their pack, the Phoenix Feather Pack, and I was so excited to get to finish off the territory quest. I had extended it of my own volition, because I had some plans to claim a sort of triangle-y shaped territory since we were kind of getting boxed in by the Van Winkle pack in the pink on the map. Unfortunately, the Lost River pack also started claiming some territory exactly where we wanted to make ours. Now, I figured this wouldn't be too much of an issue. We could always go in and steal it little by little. And Eagle and Orchid both have pretty good strength, so they could definitely fight off any enemies. I'm sure it would be no problem. Except I had literally been narrating a certain point that I had observed during the intro, which that Orchid has really low health compared to Eagle, which means that if we get into a fight or difficult hunt, we really have to monitor her health. I had said that like a possible mate for Eagle would be someone who could keep him out of trouble, and she does it in a really roundabout way by being so much easier to kill. Like, she is just as impulsive as he is, and she charges into danger just as much as he does. But because of that, that means that we have to be monitoring her all the time, and if she's in trouble, we have to pull her out of it. But that's gonna be it was gonna be like a really interesting thing I had observed. It was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like such a fun dynamic. Unfortunately, this completely slipped my mind as I set about the task of securing some more of the Lost River Pack's territory for ourselves, because it was going to be ours, let's be real. At first it went pretty fine. We were able to form the bottom corner of the triangle that I had wanted, and we managed to take a hex or two from the Lost River Pack. Like, in scent view, I could definitely see the stranger wolf scent spores from their pack, but I brushed it off. Like, I figured like we could just nab this one last hex and we could like run back before they noticed us, and we could sleep because Eagle and Orchid were exhausted. Like, their stamina had gone down to nothing. They were that exhausted. I was really pushing it, and that turned out to be a mistake, because I was still in scent view when we were attacked, and I didn't realize that, oh, their scent spores were coming because they were on their way over here already. We ended up meeting the leader of the Lost River Pack, Lif, and a few of his kids. And let me tell you, they were pissed to see us stealing the territory that they had stolen from us. Or, well, we hadn't properly claimed it yet, but it might as well have been ours. It was part of the plan. We had this plan. I figured maybe we could focus on the leader and send these guys packing. Except that the pups really did not want me attacking their dad. Like, I was locked on. I was like totally ready to like go for the kill if I had to. At least I wanted to chase off Lif. But no, they kept ganging up on me, and Lif went and attacked Orchid every time. So I decided to switch targets and try and target one of the pups instead, but I couldn't figure out which pup to target, and this ended up being a huge mistake on my part. I honestly probably should have run from that battle a lot sooner. I was a little too greedy. I didn't want to lose that battle. I wanted to take that territory. But it wasn't until Orchid got both a minor and a major injury where she broke her leg that I realized we had to give up. We couldn't do this battle. This battle was becoming impossible. Her health got so low. So Eagle mustered up what energy he could and just narrowly made it back to Phoenix Feather Pack territory, with the Lost River Pack literally snapping at their heels. Poor Orchid had a broken leg. We tried to sleep it off. Her health didn't really increase that much afterwards, so I felt really terrible. And we also hadn't eaten in a while, but it wasn't too pressing quite yet. We weren't starving, but I just felt really awful dragging her into that fight. We didn't have to pick it. We didn't have to go and steal that territory like that. We could have run from the battle much sooner. I was just an idiot who didn't want to give up on our triangle dreams of territory. Ugh, that sounds stupid, but whatever. After that, I started paying more attention on the territory map where it seemed like the Lost River Pack seemed to be. Trying to pay attention to where like their hexes were strongest, and decided while they were away, far off on the map, we could come in and nab a little bit more territory, take back the piece of territory we had just stolen, that they had stolen from us. And then we just went to sleep again, because we would not be able to last another fight with Orchid in her condition. The next day, I was feeling pretty worried, because the Lost River Pack was very solidly inside the triangle shape that I had wanted. I still wanted to like take that territory, but like they had 100% territory right there. So for some reason I figured maybe we could risk it. Maybe we could try and take one of the 100%. We could at least like try and weaken it a little and see what would happen and start back, just taunting them maybe. Except it was just our luck that like at that moment when we were setting foot in their territory, we got the hex raid notification for the territory that we had just taken from them. There was a moment where I was like about to like charge into battle, like, oh, all right, fine, we gotta take our territory back from them. And then it occurred to me, they're busy. The Lost River Pack, they're busy trying to steal our territory. Why should we bother with them when they're busy on one hex when we could take more? So I decided to be a little bit sneaky about it. You know, they're busy. It worked. We went to multiple hexes that belonged to them and to the Van Winkle pack. Actually, there was at least one hex that belonged to them, and we just kind of went about our business, stealing like multiple hexes. We took a tiny piece of Van Winkle territory. We did a hunt to finally satiate our hunger because we were pretty starving, and then we decided to go to sleep after that. The hex raid was still going. They were moving on to a second hex, but you know, that didn't matter. We actually went to sleep in a hex that we had just stolen from them, and they were not happy about it because we woke up in the like before we had finished our sleep, and they had stolen it back, and they chased us again. Like this time we were running, but they kept cornering us, and it reached the point where I genuinely felt like they were not going to stop. Like they chased us into our territory and still kept attacking us. And I was like legitimately thinking they're going to kill us. They're not going to stop until they've killed me or until they've killed Orchid. They're not going to stop until they've chased us into a second one of our hexes, and then they finally gave up and started howling and taking territory. I was just glad that we had like managed to escape with our lives and just went back to sleep. And waking up in the morning, I checked the map to realize somehow in the middle of the night, they decided to travel really far away. Meaning that the hexes that they had just stolen back from us, that we had stolen from them, were pretty much undefended. So with a bit of newfound hope, we went back in and stole those hexes back. One of those hexes, they barely left a scent mark. Like, they just left a scent mark and left, and it was already super weak. Like, I don't know what they were thinking, but that territory is ours now. We also took the last remaining Van Winkle hex while we were at it, and finally managed to complete the triangle shape that we had been wanting for all this time. We had a few hexes of our own weakening, so we decided to head up north to touch them up before we wrapped the episode up. And as we were heading up there, who did we find but a bunch of dispersals hunting a bunch of elk. Now, these ladies were just dispersals. I was more than happy to just leave them be and let them finish the elk hunt we'd interrupted. But apparently they were a bit angrier than I expected about that, and soon Eagle and Orchid were tangled in a fight with 3 dispersal wolves, while still weakened from Orchid's broken leg, because it still hadn't healed. Now, you would think that it would be easier to make the dispersals give up their attack, but for some reason, these guys were persistent, and I fear the day that they form a pack of their own. I don't know what made them give up, but eventually, I guess they had enough and ran off. We were super weakened. I feel like they won the fight, honestly, but they ran off of their own volition. I don't know what happened there. So we just went to sleep right there. We just could not deal with that. We just needed to sleep. And after that, we had our full triangle territory and over and out our footage, which is definitely going to be cut down for this video. It's only been like, 9 minutes of narration here. But that's honestly all I needed. There would have been like long, awkward silences that would have been cut out anyway, because we were just running from one place to another. or like just long pauses where I had to deal with cat stuff that was happening in the background as well. But if you want to see the full hour of footage, be sure to check out my Patreon. It's going to be up there. Some of the territory is still a little bit weak, so I said I was going to take care of that in the background, behind the scenes. And this episode is going to be wrapped up here. So, if you guys did enjoy this episode, please do be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next episode. Stay safe out there, everybody.